I shall stand guard while you focus. It's amazing the government has allowed this to stand. I suppose they have more pressing matters.
You have come. Please, sit with me, so that we may continue our prior conversation. Thank you. I am not very accustomed to having discussions, at least not yet. I used to simply give demands, orders, ultimatums. And old habits die hard. Tell me, does the name Khaslav mean anything to you? Many people who heard that name do not live long enough to hear it again. Khaslav is what those in Dazra would refer to as a zealot. A brutal, sadistic one at that. His love of violence has eclipsed any supposed dedication to the Serpent's crusade. He kills simply because he enjoys it. And I was his right-hand man. 3 months ago, I gave up that life, swearing to never go back.
A zealot does not give up that life. That is not how it works.
I am living proof that it is possible. You deserve to know who you are speaking to, and it is no secret. The people of Dazra refuse to speak to me due to my past. And who can blame them? As painful as it is, I do understand them. But I hope to one day earn their trust. Well, how long is it supposed to take? If I had given that life up 5 years ago, would that make a difference to you? All I want is a new start. To forget who I was, what I have done. When you become haunted by the ghosts of countless dead, people who have died violently by your hand, you begin to worry about what awaits you on the other side. I have ended so many innocent lives. many times in ways I refuse to speak of. And every time, Khaslav was there, laughing, cheering. I realize now that it was not the great serpent I sought approval from, but of him. To think I have done such horrible things to be accepted by a wicked man like him. It sickens me, and yet, for reasons I do not understand, I viewed him as my brother for most of my life. Sometimes I still think of him in that way. It is not as simple as that. The people of Dazra do not trust me. I am exiled, doomed to spend the rest of my life in this shack, waiting for Khaslav to eventually come for me. There is only one way to truly move on. Khaslav and his zealots have taken refuge on Verun Kai. They will come for me in time when I least suspect it, and I will not stand a chance against them alone. Which is why you and I will strike first and wipe them out. Together, we may stand a chance. With Khaslav and his zealots made dust by our hands, the people of Dazra will see that I truly am reformed, and I can finally begin my life anew. Of course, I am desperate. And I am selfish. Is it so wrong to be? Am I supposed to just wither and die as a hermit in this sloughing shack? Maybe that is all I deserve. But that is not what I want. I refuse to go back to what I was. And I will do whatever it takes, if it means I can start living again. I have many spoils left over from my life as a zealot. I am capable of paying you very handsomely if you do this with me. If we survive, of course. Good! Yes! You are doing a good thing. We both are. Now, meet me at this location as soon as you are able. Be prepared for a fight. All right. Many zealots, all willing to die in order to protect Khaslav. We must both be prepared for a great amount of bloodshed. And, obviously, there will be Khaslav himself. He will keep his most powerful warriors close to him. This will not be an easy fight. There is a small but important distinction between Khaslav and other zealots. A zealot, brutal as he may be, kills in the name of the Serpent's crusade. They kill those they deem not worthy of the Great Serpent. Khaslav, despite his bluster and phony piety, kills in the name of killing. He simply enjoys it. And a zealot with a bloodlust is a very dangerous thing. Undoubtedly, Khaslav is prideful, and leaving the crew is the greatest dishonor anyone has ever dared to commit against him. He killed many of our crew for much lower offenses. As much as his zealots respect him, They also fear him. But what would they have to fear if it was acceptable to leave him? It is only a matter of time until Khaslav comes and makes an example out of me. He never did. When I approached him about my newfound crisis of conscience, he kept me under constant surveillance. One night, when the others were asleep, I fought my guards and barely escaped. Of course not. I am not sure of anything. But I have no other options. Once I do this, there is no going back. This will be seen by zealots as an act of blatant heresy. There will be no chance of reconciliation, and I will become a dead man walking to them. If that does not convince the people of Dazra of my conviction, my earnestness in leaving that life behind, then nothing will. My belief in the Great Serpent has not changed, but my commitment to the Serpent's crusade is no more. I have meditated on this for quite some time, but I believe that the Great Serpent afflicted me with guilt as punishment for straying from the Serpent's crusade. I was following Khaslav, not him. But from that guilt came a reckoning for my past actions. And I have lost the will to continue the crusade. I suppose now I am an accursed myself. Politics, fear, even hope. It is a complicated subject. In case you are unaware, the people you know as zealots were once House Veth'aal, one of the noble houses in Dazra. Opinions of zealots vary in Dazra. Most are distrusting and fearful, but others are sympathetic. And I am sure some even hope that one day House Veth'aal will return to Dazra. To some, violently removing a zealot could be seen as raising a hand against a noble house. As I said, it is a complicated subject. Much easier to just ignore me and hope the problem goes away. On your way, then.
I'm glad to see you. I am always willing to carry an extra weapon. Or two. Or three. May the serpent guard you.
Why walk when we can coast?
Forgive me. I am tired today. Were our sins really so great that we deserved this?
Great servant, please.
We should exercise caution. Things in here may not react well to bullets.
The corpses you're looking for should be free of blood or wounds, with no obvious cause of death. Remember, you're looking for animal corpses with no obvious signs of injury or mutilation. Until our next meeting.
Go on now, get out of here. Thought you'd catch me unaware, did you? Thought I'd be easy prey? Unless you want a hole in the middle of your chest, you'd better turn around and start walking. I suppose you could have put a bullet in the back of my head easy enough. There's no end of trouble out here lately. We've got pirates and spacers circling like vultures looking for easy pickings. And that's to say nothing of those fanatics. Has the Great Serpent abandoned us? I don't know. Perhaps. Because the only thing that annoys me less than pestering strangers is my work. Machines and structures don't waste my time with stupid questions. I know the courier well, and you are not him. Tell me the name of the person who sent you, and prove that you are not a liar. Fine, so you're telling the truth. I won't apologize for my manner. Trust does not come easily for me in these dark days. That, and the constant pain in my back makes me poor company. I know. I fix machines because they don't try to start a conversation. I prefer the quiet. But now, at last, my medicine has arrived. The Serpent knows I've gone too long without it. No doubt he hears my loud swearing when I struggle to get out of my bed every morning. I needed it many days ago. But that is not your fault. Take your credits and leave me in peace. Talking just makes me more irritable. And before you ask, yes, such a thing is possible. I'm busy. I have work to do.
I savor these moments of peace and quiet.
How did we end up here?
I heard something. Oh, do they even try? clear. Profit is never necessarily the aim, but if there is something worth taking... Credit for your thoughts, as they say. I am happy to help shoulder. I appreciate our little discussions, you know. Ooh, writing in style, I see. Ooh, writing in style, I see.
Welcome, my friend. Are not the beauty and majesty of nature truly splendid? There is serenity here that cannot be found in the city. It is the ideal place to contemplate the secrets and mysteries of the cosmos. Just now, I was wondering why the Great Serpent chose the form that he did. Why not a bird, or a groat, or some other creature? Why not a woman, or a man, or a child? Of course, it's folly to think that I, a lowly mortal, could even begin to grasp the mind of the divine. And yet, a curious mind cannot be stilled. It will seek answers. A kindred spirit, then? Wonderful. Let us share a brief meditation in celebration of this meeting. Now close your eyes and breathe in deeply. Be calm. Do you feel that? It is the presence of the Great Serpent, omnipotent and all-seeing. Such divine communion purifies us and makes us strong. You may think this is a chance meeting, but I know the truth. The Great Serpent has a plan for us all, my friend. And this encounter is a part of it. A tantalizing question. For what purpose has the Great Serpent brought you to me? Do you bring news from the city? Or do you perhaps come in search of wisdom? Is this meeting a turning point in my life? And you are the agent of that change? I have no doubt that the great revelation awaits me. Solijana has at last found a new courier. Great Serpent be praised. This package of dried and salted groat's meat will sustain me in my contemplations. So captivated am I by the Serpent's mysteries, I sometimes go days without remembering to eat. I know it's customary to pay upon receipt, but let me pose you this question. If we carry out the will of the Great Serpent, is that not the greatest reward of all? Compared to such divine favor, the worth of a few credits is a mere pittance. Your eyes see clearly, and your heart is pure, my friend. The Great Serpent smiles upon us both. From such a vantage point, you can almost see the Great Serpent's grand design. Quite a view. What better place to contemplate the nature of the Great Serpent and his works?
Forgive me, but I prefer silence.
I would do anything to sleep in my own bed again.
Any interesting results? Oh! Need a moment to walk that off? might wish to lighten your load. Hmm? One is less likely to survive an ambush when one is weighed down with... whatever all that is.
This is the place. Are you ready? One thing. Khaslav will want to talk before he tries to kill us. He has always been theatrical, like a predator playing with its food. Do not listen to his lies. The time has come. Let us spill some blood. Should have known it would end like this.
We should move on, if there's nothing worth taking. I'm here for you. What have you got for me? Thank you for the conversation and everything. I wonder if this is long-term storage, or if it is accessed regularly.
Let us finish this.
Storage, it is likely we will find something worth taking. Always worth checking. Never know what you might find in there.
This will be your last mistake!
Good boy.
Death has come for you! I have come for you!
Grenade out! You died. Take your best shot. Best not to leave anything useful behind. any opportunity to prove to each other how devoted they are.
How pathetic.
So be it!
Attacking a servant of House Veth'aal. You will suffer their retaliation.
Waste of bullets!
House Veth'aal.
Now for your judgment!
You're not working on it. Focus.
Eager to help, if I can. If I can take a few things. It is always a pleasure. Did they have anything of value? They are one step away from living like animals in cages.
All right. Goodbye.
We should investigate. See what is being stored here. Take a moment. See if there's anything here we should take.
Orahim! Oh, how great of you to visit. It has been far, far too long. And this accursed is... What is this? Your... friend? Pet?
We come bringing death, Khaslav. Your time is up.
Great serpents, thanks. Are you not happy to see me? We were practically brothers just a few months ago. So rude. So, accursed. You and Orahim, you've slaughtered my brethren in the name of what, exactly?
Enough, Khaslav. You will speak to me only.
Whoo! It seems to me that Orahim is afraid of what I may say. Terrified, petrified of me revealing his true nature to you, accursed. I am sure he went on and on about how evil I am. How it was I that forced him to commit horrible atrocities, whatever those may be. All of it merely a deflection. Orahim was the most brutal out of all of us. He had a lust for blood that was legendary. Oh, I wish you could have seen him in his prime. Oh, I never knew honesty to be one of Orahim's virtues. I remember many times he would lie to win over the trust of an accursed before stabbing them in the back. Literally. So he has told you everything, including the incident where he immolated the crew of a hauler one by one? Or what of the time he...
Enough! I need no reminders of what I have done. I relive those scenes every day. I see ghosts every night. I am cursed. The past cannot be changed. But your death, Khaslav, will serve as some small penance.
Ooh, poor Orahim. Oh, boo-hoo. It seems having a conscience is such a heavy burden. This is all quite pathetic, really. I can't forgive your betrayal, but what I cannot abide is your stinking hypocrisy. You deliver death to my doorstep, and then speak to me of righteousness? This is heresy, damn it! I kill accursed in the Great Serpent's name, to feed the corpses of unbelievers to him, and I love it. I love it. I know what I am, what I kill for. But you are trying to be something you are not. A hero. And you decide to start your new life with yet more acts of violence against the very same that once adored you, no less? Against the true House Veth'aal? You have not changed at all. Death is all you know, only now it seems everyone's a target. When did you become so pathetic? We used to idolize you. Now you are just... so boring. Listen now, accursed. You are Orahim's friend, so it falls on you to show him mercy. The poor fool. Oh, great serpent, he is so tortured. He wants so badly to forget what he's done, to live amongst those he has killed by the shipful a few months ago. Why not put him out of his misery? Whatever he is paying you for this charade, I will provide even greater compensation.
Do not try it.
We have come too far to turn on Orahim now.
I am not proposing that you trust me, but is it so wise to trust him? I have spent my whole life by his side. I understand his true nature. You do not. I am no idiot. I know that all of this was a misguided effort to gain the favor of the accursed in Dazra. But think, just think. Would you truly trust this man as your neighbor? Do you want to be the one responsible for unleashing a bone crest into a field of groats?
Do not listen to him.
Ah, sloughing accursed. What are you doing here then? You are a hypocrite just like Orahim. Enough of this. The Great Serpent has given you a life where you could have been anything. And you have chosen to be a total idiot. Come now! The Great Serpent shall feast upon your bleeding, broken corpses!
Your corpse shall be the Great Serpent.
Your abilities are...
So it begins! Come and face your demise! Finally, some entertainment!
Accursed! You will suffer!
Good one!
My eyes! My eyes!
Must be this way.
So be it!
Finally, it is done. With Khaslav dead, the people of Dazra should finally see that I am a zealot no more. My ties to that life have been well and truly severed. I promised you payment. Here, take this. It is a key to a deposit in my shack. It is yours. All of it. Thank you. Really, thank you for everything. Go on now. I will stay here for a time to think and meditate. Hopefully, I will see you in Dazra.
The spoils of victory. Hopefully they amount to something. I do not wish to judge, but I doubt you truly need to be carrying all of that. I trust you will help yourself to anything useful. Someone stored all of this here for a reason. If you find anything significant, say the word.
Is the vehicle broken?
There must be something in all of that you can afford to let go of. I rarely have the patience for that thing. I would prefer that we both remain light on our feet. You never know what could happen. it would seem the farm has fallen on hard times. It is so empty.
Is there some compulsion that leads you to do this? Childhood trauma? Huh? It is okay to let things go.
Have you met the speaker? I have. Sort of. I've only been to Dazra a few times. It was nice. I hope everything turns out okay. I guess? It's the only place I've ever lived. Father says we have to make do with what the Great Serpent provides. So, we do. Not much. Just looking around, mostly. I used to try and find scrap to sell, but I don't think there's any left at this point. I like the view too, and it's nice to just get away from the farms sometimes.
Another executor? No, you do not look the part. Unless, of course, executors are now operating in some new way, and I have now made things worse for us. Really? From the Ministry of Commerce? How can you be unfamiliar? They are agents assigned with various duties, including collecting supplies and delivering payments. I was particularly concerned about the supplies as, well, we are behind schedule, I am afraid. Are you? Not many do these days. If you will be here for a while, mind your step. Things are in a sorry state here, though we do the best we can. It is good to see another servant of the Great Serpent. We get few visitors these days. Comrec will be the 4th generation to care for this place, should it survive that long. This is hardly the prosperous future my grandfather saw for us when he took charge so many years ago. I worry that he would see me as a failure. Forgive me. I have not been sleeping well, and it clouds my mood. Bad dreams. It is the stress, I'm sure. Little goes well for us. Or for House Veth'aal as a whole, it would seem. I suppose, given all this disquiet, I should be more concerned if I were sleeping soundly. There is not much to tell. I find myself wandering the same corridors, always on edge. It is as if I am a predator, trapped in a cage forever. Does that make sense? I cannot explain it any better. I suppose that sounds silly, hardly the sort of thing to affect one's sleep. And yet I wake all too often. You ask as if you do not have eyes, as if you cannot see that we are barely hanging on. We try. There are few of us left. The payments have shrunk. And now with Dazra in its current state, what can we do but try?
remember this place. The seaweed dumplings were excellent. A shame to see it shuttered. Something catch your eye? Or are you just checking? This is not eventually mitigated. It could prove disastrous for the environment. You seem to have taken on more than you can carry. If you require assistance, please, just say so. I appreciate you taking the wheel.
The days can be long for a farmer, but there is nothing I'd rather do. By the Serpent's mercy, we were safe from the worst of it. But in truth, nobody was really spared. Everyone either lost someone close or knows someone who did. And of course, there was the disruption to goods and services, the delivery of supplies and so on. The disaster touches every part of our society. I just wish I could know the Great Serpent's reason. Why visit this calamity upon our people? Oh, I was raised in the city, and when I was still young, my parents took me to visit a Groat farm. My father wanted me to see how others lived, to open my eyes to new possibilities. That day changed my life. I knew from the moment I set foot on this farm how I would serve. The Great Serpent had revealed my life's purpose, and I came to work here as soon as I was of age. It has been a fulfilling life. Oh, you might not know it to look at them, but Groats are excellent climbers. They try to get up to high places so they can see their surroundings. That includes the tops of crates and buildings, by the way. It was good to talk.
Outpost. The Great Serpent favors those who labor for the greater good.
I think you may be trying to take a little too much on. Literally.
Thank the serpent I was out here when the calamity happened.
Yes? You need something? A good team always shares the load. I look forward to our next discussion. It is pleasing to speak with you. I keep whatever you give me, yes? That is the deal? I am here if you need me. Taking off immediately, or are there other matters that require your attention?
Nice clean dock there.
How may the Trade Authority... Was there something you needed? You won't find a better offer on the station.
I've heard some hostile camps were wiped off the map by you. Wish there were more good people like you
Captain Ketten, hello. I am satisfied to see that you survived.
sometimes amuses me to think about what goes on here, right under the United Colony's collective nose.
There's something we need to discuss. Hey. I'm glad I finally caught up with you. I'm from the Trackers Alliance. We have a proposal for you. It's definitely not. They wouldn't send me after you for that, and if they did, you'd already be bagged and tagged. What? Oh, got it. You're trying to make a joke. Emphasis on trying. Yes, it's a proposal. No, not that kind of proposal. The Trackers Alliance has been following your exploits and believe you have what it takes to join our ranks. You're being invited to our new headquarters in Aquila City. There you'll meet with Agent Number 1. If you decide to consider our offer, they'll guide you through our initiation process. Wonderful. I appreciate you hearing me out. I'll be heading out soon if there's nothing more. Remember, Trackers Alliance HQ in Aquila City. Speak to Agent Number 1. What is it? Back to headquarters. With any luck, I'll even be there before you arrive. And then who knows? Whatever the Alliance asks of me. Go to the Trackers Alliance headquarters in Aquila City, near the Rock. Speak with Agent Number 1. They'll instruct you further.
after I complete my duties. Not sure how long that may take. Obedience is paramount.
Brother lost his wife.
Malibor me trust.
Apologies, but you're not clear to purchase from me yet.
Something is amiss.
Foolish, Victor. The High Council needs access to the power grid if we hope to restore the city. Your inability to provide a legitimate excuse for denying them will only last so long.
Victoria is right. I know you're angry, but you can't let personal matters interfere with what may be best for everyone.
Personal matters? This is a Ministry of State matter, and I will handle it as I see fit. He is a traitor. He turned his back not only on his family, but on our people's entire belief system. The fact that he still breathes is a stain upon the House Veth'aal name.
You would doom us all with your pride.
I will do as I please as head of this house. If you are not a member of House Veth'aal, you do not belong here. Another High Council lackey come begging? I told Lothric no more!
Forgive my brother. He has been forgetting his manners of late. Victor, this is Anaskel's chosen. You recall Lothric sent word.
I recall he spoke of a newly anointed promised. And we do not need help, especially from an outsider.
You can't continue to refuse the council. You must act. Your inaction is killing you.
Precisely, which is why he leaves me no choice but to say this. My nephew Varric has left, and until he returns, Victor refuses to assist the council.
These are hardly matters for the ears of an outsider. And who are you to tell me what is vital and what is not? You are an outsider. You have no understanding of our house.
Is this not the opportunity you've been looking for, brother? A third party capable of finding Varric?
Yes, you said so yourself. Someone with no loyalties to speak of. And if he's become promised, truly his arrival is more than coincidence.
Serpent, give me strength. You both speak true. Perhaps I have reacted in haste. Tell me, Diviner, are you well practiced in discretion? I have heard reports on Ryujin from the Ministry of Conjunction. This news gives me hope. As Victoria mentioned, my son, Varric, has left. Essentially, he has abandoned his post. And not only did he turn his back on his house, but the Great Serpent as well. He is a traitor and must be dealt with as such.
Victor, surely you don't mean it.
He does, Luther. He is allowing his fervent pride and anger to cloud his judgment. What my brother is trying to say is that he wishes his own son dead. First, we lose Vashti to that malignance tearing through Dazra. And now you so willingly offer up Varric. As if our house has not suffered enough loss already.
Because he let his weakness get the better of him. He sees himself as a prisoner in this life. He runs from a duty that others would spend their lives coveting. He is my son. He does not get to choose. He was born to inherit my title, and he knows the punishment for refusing to honor it. My son denounced the very faith that defines Va'ruun's society. He dared to blame a Nazgul for the state of Dazra. Dared to call our faith in the Great Serpent blind. It is heresy and punishable by death. I will not speak of her with an outsider, promised or not. Your focus is solely on Varric. Of course it would. As someone from the settled systems, you have no concept of what the Great Serpent demands of us. I do not wish Varric dead, but as head of the Ministry of State, he left me no choice. All must serve. Those who refuse will be met with death. The shame Varric brought upon this house is immeasurable. It stains the very foundation. I will not act until this house is in order and its members are properly aligned with the Great Serpent. Exceptions show weakness, and we cannot afford to show weakness at a time like this.
We have done the same for less. You act as if death is the only answer. What about forgiveness?
I will not risk the Ministry's authority on the actions of my own son, even if he is my chosen heir. If the High Council wants my cooperation, I need you to find Varric and carry out his sentence.
And I would ask you to spare him. My brother is acting under impulse, not reason.
I have never been more clear. Speak against me one more time, and you will regret it. Varric has a signet ring with House Veth'aal's family crest. Bring it to me as proof of death. Only then will I grant you access to the power grid. There is no other way. The Ministry of State must uphold order, and you will be expected to serve as we all do. I recommend you start by speaking to patrons of the Herald's Rest. Some of Varric's associates there may know where he went, but keep in mind, anyone who has directly aided him in hiding is an accomplice and shares his fate. The Herald's Rest is our local bar, and unfortunately, my son's favorite establishment to frequent. And while I know a bar isn't the ideal place for discretion, I still expect you to keep these matters private. All anyone needs to know is that you are looking for Varric. See to it you do. All anyone needs to know is that you are looking for Varric for personal reasons. I will not risk word of his disappearance getting out before I can say the situation has been handled. You have a job to do, Diviner. Get it done. Are you here to help or question my every decision? You think I would prefer to see my own son's severed head? The ring is unique, a gift from his sister, and all he has left of her. It will be enough. The Ministry of State maintains the very society of Dazra. We enforce the common goals, that our lives are dedicated to House Veth'aal and the Great Serpent. In order for everyone to contribute, we do not allow for the distractions of disillusion and heresy. If you feel it will help. Varric has nothing to do with the power grid, but everything to do with the integrity of House Veth'aal. I will not act until I have purged my house of this stain. Varric would believe he is above his duties as House Veth'aal's heir. He speaks of his own freedom when he was born to guide the people of Dazra. He runs from his duty, which means he runs from the Great Serpent himself. There is only one fate for those who would denounce the Great Serpent. When a promise is lost, they must be made penitent, and it is the Ministry of State's duty to see their sentence through. Varric was devout, although he lacked an enthusiasm. Good. You have work to do. All must serve.
I, too, would ask you spare Varric. Victor is in no condition to be making such decisions.
Remember, Diviner, that I would ask you to spare my nephew. Should any harm come to Varric, it would only further devastate this family. Vashti was my niece. Victor's daughter. Varric's sister. We lost her to the devastation that took half of our great city. Victor will barely speak of her. I think he cannot reconcile the loss with his faith. Victor is letting his emotions get the better of him. He was barely processing the shock and grief from losing Vashti. Then came the anger and betrayal from Varric. My brother is a man of pride and great faith. For the first time, I think he does not know what to do. But I am certain Victor does not wish Varric dead. As head of the Ministry of State, Victor feels he has no choice. He believes he is trapped by his own faith and duty. If he makes an exception for his son, and the truth comes out, people will see it as weakness. They will question the Ministry of State's authority, which means they are questioning him. Something his pride would never risk. On the other hand, going through with it, announcing it to the public, that solidifies the Ministry of State as a force to be both feared and revered. Is it not obvious? He has given you the perfect out, the ring. Yes, Varric would be loath to part with it. It belonged to his sister and is all he has left. But to save his life? To save her brother? Vashti would give him her blessing to hand it over if you asked. This is why I ask you to spare him. And I pray I have answers for you. Varric was an obedient child. Quiet. Always absorbed in his studies to please his father. But the two have clashed ever since Varric sacrificed his Groat. He found his voice that day, and to Victor's dismay, he wanted no part of being elder. All Veth'aal children raise a Groat, and when they come of age, they sacrifice it. It is our way of solidifying our connection with the Great Serpent. All must serve, and our dedication to him comes above all else. Varric is conflict averse. Pressure, responsibility, stress, he avoids them like the plague. He wants everyone's approval, and as Elder, that is an impossible task. I believe it is why he has fled. He made his final stand against his father, and rather than face the disapproval, he disappears. Victor's pride and belief in tradition will not allow it. He sees Varric's refusal to inherit the role of Elder as an insult, and many would share that view. Victor was too lenient with him when it came to Varric's free time. As strict as he was, he allowed him the freedom to associate with whomever he wanted. I think too much time at the Herald Rest showed Varric a different life is possible, when it's not. Not for him. What would you like to know? As a high-ranking member of the Ministry of State, I fully support the policies. But I also recognize these circumstances are not normal. Exceptions must be made in trying times. Great Serpent keep you.
See to your duty.
So many lives lost. This family can't afford another. You don't know Victor Veth'aal. He may be the most stubborn man in Dazra next to Anesko Varun himself, but that doesn't mean we won't try. He adores Varric, and if he died without reconciling their differences, I think it would break him. He never got to say goodbye to Vashti, and he hasn't taken it well. Our house was taken during the incident. Our losses are great. Vashti being foremost in our minds. Excuse me. I'd rather not speak about it. Varric is a dreamer who let his fascination with the settled systems get the best of him. You could always tell his heart wasn't into learning about Varun society, noble houses, ministries, Dazra. He was a devout student, but none of it interested him. The only lessons that truly fascinated him were about space and exploration. Vashti was Victor's daughter. We lost her in the accident. She and Varric were very close. She was his anchor and voice of reason. I truly believe if she was still with us, Varric would be too. Whatever happened to Dazra, our home was taken along with it. Victor felt the keep was the most logical place to stay until more long-term plans were able to be made. The Ministry of State oversees military and security, so we already have established offices here. Serpent guide you.
Something disrupts Victor's work. I pray his focus will return soon.
Say the word, and we shall be on our way.
I guess it only worked because they just lived on one planet. And that sounds boring.
Hello.
Can I get you anything? Can I get you anything? Varric? Depends on who's looking for him. And Vi, of course. We've been getting a lot of that since the so-called incident. Lots of people you're reminded you care about when half the city goes to shit. Truth is, I haven't seen him for a few days myself. But if you find him, tell him he better come check on his tab. I know he's good for it, but since he gave Eggy permission to use it, it's sky high. You being a friend of his, I wish I did, but I'm afraid I just can't help you. I wouldn't put it past him. I can understand that. I'd hate to think he'd do anything dangerous. Varric was always good at giving advice. All right, fine. I don't know where he is, but there's a man, Tane Salavea. He might know. That one's easy. Tane's a bit of a regular ever since Dazra went to hell. Just wait around a bit, and he's bound to wander in. If you do find Varric, tell him to stop by. He's missed.
Another day in Dazra. Hey, aren't you that outsider made promise that showed up here recently? Impressive. Since these people really aren't into strangers, especially in times like these. I'm an outsider myself. It's hard to get into the whole giant snake thing. I guess when you're part of the supply chain, they make a few exceptions. There's not a lot of people in the import-export business when it comes to Dazra, and they aim to keep it that way. But believe me, it wasn't any short amount of time before they let me roam these streets. Tell me about it. I've been toting stuff back and forth for these people for years and still get the cold shoulder most places I go. But then these people lose half their city and you show up, and suddenly it's divine intervention. It sure has, to say the least. Anyway, enough about that. What can I do you for? That's so. Well, I guess that depends, diviner. Who wants to know? Oh, sure. You just show up out of the blue and suddenly want to know where to find House Veth'aal's #1 son? And I know he wasn't lost to whatever ate up half of Dazra. Plenty of people have seen him since. Although, let's just say after what went down here, my retirement's looking imminent, and I haven't exactly been saving up for a rainy day. So if you're feeling generous, maybe we can help each other out. Nice to see we operate on the same wavelength. I'm pretty sure he's heading into the Highlands. Just not sure where. But I do have the means to track him. So you just say the word and we're off to the races. You make it sound creepy. But yeah, for emergencies. Highlands region is the northwest side of Dazra. Pretty good area if you don't want to be easily found. Yep, when it comes to my stuff, it's like a package deal. I'm not just gonna hand off valuable tech to some stranger. After you. Once we're outside of Dazra, I'll fire up my tracker, and fingers crossed, it'll lead us right to him. Just head out the west gate, should be the fastest route.